Hey, friends! When it comes to Sherlock Holmes, several actors have essayed the famous detective. Certainly, Basil Rathbone created a wonderful version of the character. Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, Tom Baker, Roger Moore, and Christopher Plummer have all starred as Holmes. Even Charlton Heston played the character. But the less said about that movie, the better. Same for Matt Frewer. That's right, Max Headroom played Holmes in a couple of movies. And of course, Benedict Cumberbatch starred in the modern take on Holmes set in contemporary times. But me? I'm a Jeremy Brett man. Nothing has come close to the famous Granada television series from the 1980s, either in production values or the portrayal of Holmes himself. It's pretty much the definitive version of Holmes in his cases from Arthur Conan Doyle's canon. And no, Iron Man doesn't count. Not even going there. Still better than that Charlton Heston movie, though, I'll give it that. That was terrible. The point is, there are many actors who have donned the deerstalker on film since the silent era. Anyway, there is one other actor who played Holmes who is well worth the mention, namely Ian Richardson. Richardson starred as Sherlock Holmes in two made-for-TV movies produced in 1983, The Hound of the Baskervilles and The Sign of Four. Hound is probably the penultimate and best-known Sherlock Holmes story, probably because it features a dog. So no need to rehash the plot of that one. You all know it. Suffice to say, a supernatural hound has cursed the Baskerville family for centuries, and the newest Baskerville to take the title of Sir Baskerville is being threatened by this curse. Holmes suspects there are other, more earthly forces at work. Sign of Four, or The Sign of the Four, as it's also known, is another famous story. In that one, a series of murders takes place that revolve around a treasure stolen from India during the British occupation and unrest. Holmes must uncover the perpetrator and the motivation for the crimes. This was an earlier tale in the Sherlock Holmes canon, in which Dr. Watson is married off to the first of his 3 marriages in the stories. His first 2 wives died, so maybe he wasn't a very good doctor, I guess. Anyway, these 2 films were produced by Weintraub. This guy was responsible for the Tarzan movies in the 1960s. His 2 Holmes movies were his last productions, although he lived until the year 2000. Apparently, he just sat back raking in lots of dough from syndicating his Tarzan movies for television. Weintraub had worked to obtain the rights to Holmes from the Doyle estate, as the Sherlock Holmes stories were still under copyright at the time. He was planning to make a television series, and these 2 pictures were to be the start of that. But then he found out that the estate had also licensed the rights to another company making a television series, namely Granada. He sued and won his case, but decided not to make any more Holmes movies. That left the field clear for Granada to make the Jeremy Brett series. It's kinda sad in a way, since the 2 he did make are very good. The only downside to these 2 films is that they turn Holmes into a man of action type, especially at the end of each picture. There was always action in the Holmes adventures, but they go a little over the top here, if you ask me. They also didn't quite follow the stories, although they are mostly faithful to the source material. In Hound, for example, they add a character not in the book, an angry painter who mistreats his wife. As you can see, this guy was played by Brian Blessed, so works for me. You also spot some familiar character actors in both pictures. Nicholas Clay, Denholm Elliott, Thorley Walters, David Healy, and Glynis Barber. She played Sue Lynn on Blake 7. These two movies really are a case of the road not taken. Ian Richardson was not done with Holmes, however. He starred in the successful television series Murder Rooms, which follows the adventures of the real-life inspiration for the Holmes character, Dr. Joseph Bell, under whom a young Arthur Conan Doyle studied medicine. Gotta love that Hound, though. Am I right? I'm giving both of these movies 3 paws up. Both pictures are quite good, have excellent production values, and several familiar faces pop up in the casts. Ian Richardson gives a fine performance as the famous consulting detective. If you're looking for a good Sherlock Holmes movie that may have fallen under the radar, both of these just might fit the bill. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.